like family. He treated her like a daughter. I'm sure this was not easy for her to do. And, aside from Dan Scavino, she spent the most time with Donald Trump, and he trusted her implicitly. So, you're not going to hear, I have a feeling, Donald Trump come out and say Hope Hicks is a liar. She's angry. She's out for herself. So I think it's vital that people understand this is not some partisan witch hunt or just a bunch of angry ex-staffers out to get him.
Yeah. And Ryan, we should note that your work appears in multiple footnotes in this report. You see this new evidence, and in this, you really do see new evidence of criminal liability here for Trump and his chief of staff, at the very least, Mark Meadows. What evidence is most damning?
I think the most damning comes under the heading of the scheme to set up these false slate of electors, individuals from the GOP who would have been the electors if Trump had won those states, to certify that he had in fact won states that Biden had clearly won, and to send those to the National Archives and the Congress. That seems to just be a federal crime that is a very, very active part of the current special counsel's investigation. New evidence, brand new, that we have not seen before, that directs it right at Trump and Mark Meadows. Evidence, for example, that the one smoking gun so far is a call that Trump makes to the head of the RNC, Ronna McDaniel at the time, and he hands over the call to John Eastman to say, we want you to organize the false slate of electors. That's all we had in the past. We now know she calls Donald Trump back soon after the call and says, I accept your request, which means it's about him. It's not about Eastman. And there are other lawyers for the Trump campaign who say to the committee that it was Donald Trump who put Giuliani in control of this false slate of electors. And what Giuliani was doing, as far as they were concerned, was executing what Donald Trump wanted them to do. That's pretty devastating. And then there's a bunch of other testimony that we hadn't heard before from Cassidy Hutchinson, saying that Mark Meadows was significantly involved, following it closely, making dozens of calls to try to operationalize the false slate of electors. I think they're in some pretty deep trouble with both of those.